So now for the good part. the I have two talks. This one, I hope it will be short and clear and illustrative. The next one tomorrow might be a little bit more open to discussion and contribution from you. So what I am presenting now is the new ETPLAS website, which I bet most of you now know, and the exam service for trainers and learners. Why did we need a new website? Well, the short answer is that the previous one was rubbish, but also that because we needed something that could integrate all that ETPLAS has to offer. So namely, we have now a modern website with a clean layout that integrates all ETPLAS features, namely the page with the e-learning modules, the searchable course directory, then all the guidance documents and information, a new section, and the soon to be launched exam platform that I will present later. Just a few considerations about the website and why it's important. I've heard people say that when someone says, "Oh, do you know anything about ETPLAS?" And I heard people reply, "Oh, ETPLAS is this phenomenal website that has these many resources." And I'm like, I die on the inside because, of course, ETPLAS is not a website. But I understand that it's our face to the public. What we have been discussing today, the learning outcomes, all the policy, the questions, that's the substance that's made by people. And then this morning, I think it was Xavier that reminded me of a Victor Hugo quote that states that la forme est le fond qui remonte à la surface. So the form is the substance that we can see on the surface. So in a way, it's really important that said form reflects said substance. So since we were doing a new website, why not revamp the ETPLAS logo? We had a discussion earlier about the logo, the right to use it. Can anyone use it? As the person who actually designed the logo, my answer is I do not know. We haven't had this discussion, but it's an interesting discussion to have. So we just did a little revamping, a lighter color. It's smooth around the edges. And we also decided that using the same image that everybody knows that is clearly associated to the European Commission, because they use this red hiding in all their official communications. It was bad enough that we were using it for 6 modules, let alone when we will have dozens of them. So we decided to have these new designed logos, thumbnails for both the previous modules and the new ones. You do not imagine the level of discussion that went into these. So they started really complicated. We exchanged, myself and the company that is working on the website. We exchanged lots of emails and drafts and ideas, and we came up with this kind of streamlined, minimalistic approach. And the idea was that it should be harmonized. They should be different, but in a way should be harmonized and blend in well with each other. And this, just for you to have an idea. Of course, the designer had more or less of an idea what a rat looks like, but I actually had to sketch by hand the silhouette of a rat, and then we would do the thumbnail starting from it. What you do not see, and I added this slide because of the a discussion we had with Macha today is that the website also involves lots of planning, structuring, and this sort of thing like the privacy policy that nobody looks, but it's really important that we have one and that we stick to it. So the discussions we had with the lawyers, we met with them 4 times, I think, and they came up with this 2,600 words document, and and most importantly, they explained to us what they meant, what we had to comply with, what was the sort of information we could retrieve for how long, and that sort of thing. So about the exam platform, which you still cannot find on our website, but you will. This is the diagram that Jan Bas made, which basically it starts with the work from Madalena's group. So we have a pool of questions, validated questions, tested questions. And from this pool of questions, an exam is built, drawing from this pool of questions and presenting a set of questions by each module by a random order. This is the use of this service. So this is provided as a service, a paid service, to a course organizer that wants to have the quote unquote, let's say, ETPLAS exam, requests the exam to us, pays for it. We deliver the exam, we arrange a time and place, and then we mark it, we provide the exam results to the course organizer, and then the course organizer issues the certificates to the learners. The idea for this exam is that it can provide a new harmonized assessment tool based on the principles that were developed by Ismena's group, and the questions based on those by Madalena's group. It will be mostly automated. It can be 100% automated. We are still discussing how much automation do we really want. Because if we want to provide a really good service, we should have someone to provide some support should anything go wrong. If I have one of these sort of exams platforms for the Specal for Specal, and it works well 99% of the time, and you really need to have someone on call at least for the 1% that when it doesn't. So as I said, so the exams are tailored. So you can ask for an exam just for one module, or 2 or 3 or 4, and you can actually, and I think you can show this here. This is from the back end. You can choose what percentage of the exam will reflect each of the modules, also the number of questions, whether you want to present them in a random order or randomly sample from the pool, or whether you want to choose them, how long you want it to last, whether people can repeat, show the correct answers or not, whether people can finish without answering everything, and whether you want to allow people to go back if they want to think about the question again. So it's highly customizable. So these are the questions, and there's also the connection to the learning outcome for each of the questions. And answering to Ivo, how do we know whether the questions are any good? If every single person gets it right, perhaps you probably do not need to study the content, and you just can basically from the question itself draw the correct answer. So meaning that probably that's not the best question. If every single person gets it wrong, or a large percentage of people get it wrong, you can more or less, of course, this was just from a sample of two, probably the same person, just for illustrative purposes. But if, like, say 80% of people get a given question wrong, you know that there's something about that particular question. So you build your exam based on the modules you want to test. You select your questions, and then you list the people you want to send it to. Oh. And then you'll see that I fail miserably, because the thing is, I just want to check whether it works or not. And then it gets sent out to these people that you selected. And this is more or less how it looks like. So this it indicates the learning module that you are assessing for each particular question. We also mentioned, and Ismene mentioned, that for assessment, you need variety also in the type of question. So in these, you can select more than one answer. Here, it's a missing word kind of question, and you have a drop-down menu for you to select the question. Here, you drag and drop. So is environmental enrichment, replacement, refinement, reduction, and you drag and drop and put your answer there. And then it provides you results. And as I told you, I failed miserably because it just fast forwarded until the end. And thank you, and I am open to your questions. Thank you.